There is a silence in history, not because nothing happened, but because some stories were never fully told. What if some of the most powerful empires on Earth did not rise in Europe or Asia, but in Africa? What if vast cities once stood where textbooks show emptiness? What if gold, knowledge, and global trade flowed from places the world later chose to ignore? This is not a story of myth. It is a story hidden in manuscripts, ruins, and forgotten maps. We follow the evidence, step by step, into the ancient civilizations of Africa. In the medieval world, gold was more than wealth. It was power, and power had a source. Far from European capitals, deep in West Africa, an empire rose that quietly shaped the global economy, the Mali Empire. Its borders stretched farther than many kingdoms of its time. Its rulers controlled access to gold that fueled markets across North Africa, the Middle East, and Europe. But here is the mystery. For centuries, Europe spoke of gold, yet rarely spoke of where it came from. Then one journey changed everything. When Mansa Musa traveled across the desert to Mecca, he did not arrive unnoticed. Historical records from Cairo describe something astonishing. Gold flowed so freely from his entourage that its value temporarily dropped. Imagine that. An African ruler altering economies thousands of miles away. And yet, this empire rarely appears where we expect it to. Why? When people hear Timbuktu, they often think of distance, a place at the edge of nowhere. But centuries ago, Timbuktu stood at the center of something far more powerful than gold, knowledge. At a time when books were rare, Timbuktu became a city of manuscripts. Scholars traveled for months to reach it. Teachers debated law, astronomy, mathematics, and philosophy. Inside institutions like Sankore University, students copied texts by hand, carefully preserving ideas for future generations. Thousands of these manuscripts still exist today, hidden in private libraries, family homes, and archives. Here is the question history avoided asking. If Africa had universities, scholars, and written knowledge, why was it later described as illiterate? What else was overlooked? In southern Africa, stone walls rise from the earth, massive, silent, and precise. This is Great Zimbabwe, built without mortar, without written blueprints, yet engineered with remarkable accuracy. For generations, outsiders stared at these walls and asked the wrong question. Not how they were built, but who else must have built them? Phoenicians, Arabs, anyone but Africans. Why was the simplest explanation, the correct one, so difficult to accept? Modern archaeology has answered this clearly. The builders were local African communities, connected to regional and Indian Ocean trade networks. The mystery is no longer the structure itself, but the denial that followed. What does it mean when evidence is ignored because it contradicts belief? Africa did not have one civilization. It had many. Some ruled through kings, others through councils and consensus. In the Kingdom of Benin, city planning was so advanced that early European visitors wrote about it in amazement. In Ethiopia, a monarchy endured for centuries, maintaining diplomacy with distant powers. In the Songhai Empire, administrators governed trade, law, and taxation across vast territory. These were not scattered tribes. They were organized states. So why do so many timelines jump from ancient Egypt straight to colonization, as if nothing stood in between? Perhaps the story was never missing. Perhaps it was simply set aside. Africa was never isolated. Caravans crossed the Sahara, moving gold, salt, and ideas. Along the East African coast, Swahili city-states traded with Arabia, India, and China. Languages blended. Cultures exchanged. Technology moved both directions. This was global connection, long before modern globalization had a name. And yet, this network faded from popular memory. Why do we remember the ships that came later, but forget the roots that existed long before them? Ancient African civilizations were not hidden. They were overlooked. Their cities stood. Their scholars wrote. Their empires traded with the world. The question is no longer whether they existed. The real mystery is this: how much of history remains incomplete simply because we stopped looking? Subscribe for educational African history and culture.